Hello and welcome to this Digital Camera Magazine video tutorial. Today we're going to show you how to create an infrared image from your digital colour landscapes. Now we're going to break away from tradition and we're not actually going to apply any grain to the picture. So we're going to try and keep the sharpness and quality of a standard digital print, but otherwise replicate the look of infrared. So the final result we're after is something along these lines. So we've basically got all of the green foliage, it's turned white, we've really darkened up the blue sky, and we've also added a slight vignette effect to the edges there. So really adding a lot of drama and impact to a colour landscape. Okay, with the start image open, the first thing that we're going to do is duplicate our background layer. So I just create a duplicate and I'm going to call that InfraRed. Click OK, and then I'm going to choose to duplicate that layer again, and this time I'm just going to call it black and white. So we've now got our three layers. We've got our original background layer, our infrared layer, and our black and white layer. So first of all, we're going to do a straight black and white conversion for this top layer. And to do that, we go up to Enhance and Convert to Black and White. Wait for the dialog window to appear. And a scenic landscape is fine. We can just check a vivid landscape, which adds a little bit more contrast. And click OK. And there we have a straight, very fast black and white conversion. If we just turn the visibility of the black and white layer off, and now click on infrared. And now we can go Enhance, Convert to Black and White, and this time we'll choose the infrared effect, and it'll automatically convert that image into an infrared, so all very easy. If we want to adjust that image because of the properties and the colour properties within the image, we can just use the more red, more green, more blue down at the bottom, so we get this sort of light or almost white effect for the trees and for the grass, and we get the darkening of the blue sky. Click OK, and we can see the effect that that's had there. And now what we can do is just quickly compare the black and white, straight black and white conversion with the infrared, and you can really see the difference between the two. So now what we want to do is, I'm very keen on preserving quite a lot of the detail which is often lost on a true infrared conversion. And if we take a look at our infrared conversion, we can see that a lot of the detail around here on the grass has actually been lost. And that's why I've created our black and white layer as well. So I just switch the visibility of our black and white layer back on, make sure I've got my infrared layer selected, and what I want to do is just to create a blank levels adjustment layer. Click OK. Then I want to select our black and white layer, hold down Alt, and then just click in between. Make sure that I select the layer mask, hit X to select black as my foreground colour, select the paintbrush and just fill that layer mask in with black. Now I'll swap the brush back so I've got white as my foreground, select the brush tool, got an opacity of about 15%, and what I'm going to do is just rub gently over and start to paint back in some of the black and white grass detail, and this will just help add that little bit of detail that was lost from the black and white and infrared conversion. Also the stairs here going up to the tower have been almost completely lost, so what I can do is just use my white brush tool just to really bring those back into the picture, as they really help with the focus and style of the image. Okay, we've just done that, and we can now, if we just switch off that layer, we can see the effect that that's had on the foreground. We've now got a lot more information there and pulled in a lot more of that detail, so a little bit more striking than it was previously. Now the next stage, in taking our infrared just that step further, we're going to add a vignette to the picture. If you've got CS, it's very easy. You just go up to Filter, Lens Correction, and then choose the vignette there. In Photoshop Elements, it's a little bit more tricky. We're actually going to have to create our own. So to do this, click on our black and white layer, select our new layer tab, so we've got our new layer, and we'll just name this. And now what we want to do is adjust the canvas size so that we can draw ourselves a perfect marquee circle. So if we go up to Image, Resize and Canvas Size, and we're just going to take our width up to 40 and our height up to 40 and have our canvas extension color is white. Click OK, and that will increase the size of our canvas. Just going Control minus or Apple minus will reduce the size of the canvas so we can see what's going on. Now select your marquee tool, go up to your top left hand corner, just drag in about a pixel or two from the left and from the top, hold down Shift and we can draw ourselves an almost perfect circle and release. Now what we want to do is just to contract that slightly. So if we go to Select, Modify and Contract, and we're going to contract that by 100 pixels. And now we're going to add a slight feathering to the edges. So if we select Feather, we've gone for a feather radius of 50. Just click OK. Now to actually add the vignette, what we need to do is invert that selection. So if we hold down Control Shift and I, that'll invert it, or Apple Shift I on the Mac. And now we can fill that with our black. So if we go up to Edit and Fill Selection, we have our contents as black, our mode we just want as normal, opacity 100%, and click OK. If we go Control D just to deselect our selection, and we're going to change our layer blending mode for this to overlay. Once we've done that, we can see now we've got the darkening of the vignette effect round both of our corners here. What we can do now is just flatten that image down. So if we make sure we've got the first layer selected and hold down Shift to select the final layer, go Control or Apple E, and that'll flatten those layers down. And the final thing we need to do is just to crop the image in. So if we hit C or choose the crop tool, select on the bottom right, go up to the top right and release, hit enter just to confirm that. Now that we've cropped it in, we've now got our black and white infrared conversion. We've added the vignette effect. We've really kicked out some of the detail in the foreground, which is normally lost when you do a infrared conversion. And we've also haven't played around with the grain or added a infrared grain layer, which has preserved and kept a lot of the detail within the picture.